So my relationship with story, to quote one of your great thinkers, is a man called Robert Bringhurst. And Bringhurst says, myth is the place where poetry and music are yet to diverge. That's gorgeous. Myth is the place where poetry and music are yet to diverge. Rochelle mentioned that I spent a long time living in a battered tent, trying to retune my ear to the sort of the emanations of the living earth. And as will be clear, and as you know, we don't have wilderness in the way that you do. We have little hills that we optimistically call mountains, and you actually have mountains. But I'm not here to be sizist, because the tradition that I come out of, that I'm interested in, that I care about, which is really essentially what you would call bardic, they would use very small patches of earth as a form of kind of seership, really, to look deeply into a designated patch of soil or the movement of wild horses over the hill. You would know things you shouldn't be able to know. And stories for thousands of years have carried that kind of information if a culture has the ear to hear them and the eyes to behold them, not just to see them, not to just audition them. The worst thing in the world at the moment is stories, ancient stories, are going through a kind of auditioning process for the polemics of our times. That's really not cool. It's distasteful. So I'm here to bring difficult stories. Stories where you go, well, I loved what was that, and then I don't like that bit. I don't like that bit. Well, you may remember Joe Campbell used to say this: we all gag on true doctrine. This place is having an influence on me already. Don't laugh, I come out of this stream. So I'm here to tell these stories, and the title of this evening is The King and Queen Must Wed the Land. That is an old Arthurian belief that if you were in any position of sovereignty in your own life, if you were trying to harness the wild horses of your desires, you needed some ornate and grounded relationship to the living earth. And if you did not have it, then the barley grows limp in the field, and the salmon finds itself with her eggs rancid on the edge of a stream. In other words, you enter what they call the wasteland. Now, the wasteland is very deceptive because you can be rolling through your life and no one knows you're friggin' in it. You can have everything on the outside that you thought you wanted. You could be approaching tenure, anything you want. But inside, as some of the poets say, you're so successful, the slum must be inside you. Well, these stories have all of that in it. So what I'm going to do tonight, working into this idea of sovereignty, working into the idea that we are living in times where it would appear that things that our ancestors, the crazy ones as well as the holy ones, regarded as superly, I've just made a word up, superly important for a life that crafted beauty as well as beheld it. What have we culturally sent into exile? Because what we know from mythology is when you send something into exile, it grows hostile. It doesn't sit there and say, oh, one day my prince will come. It says, one day my prince will come and I will bite his friggin' head off when he turns up. So these kind of stories, I encourage you, if they touch you in any way, to think of them as the beginnings of a kind of arcane courtship or a calling or a singing back to parts of yourself you may find are in exile. And the reason you do it is not to live a highly individuated life and feel very pleased with yourself. The reason we do it is to gather ourselves with as many fibers of energy as we can and to bend our head to something greater than our own condition. That's the business. So we enter the stories through a place of feeling, but then the elegant thing to do is to raise that into something else again. And we can discuss that as we go, but I should ask you now, are you ready for a story? All right.